Hello, Beez Bladers! Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I have a brand spanking new concept. And I don't think it's a new concept. I think it's a new variant of an old concept. And by concept, I mean concept. That's how you say it. But yeah, this is a fixed blade, and I'm going to show you a couple other fixed blades that look just like it, and I'll give you a size comparison, and we'll look at the fit, finish, action, ergos, and all that good stuff. And I think action, you're not going to have to worry too much about, right? It does come with a little silica thing and a very nice, very nice cleaning cloth. But leave me a comment down below. Let me know how your day's going. And if you're not familiar, every Friday night, we have a 4-hour live stream here on Beez Blades. It's called Live at the Hive. Oh, right. And we give knives away, giving Kaiser knives away, Kansept knives away, Civivi knives away, you name it, we give it away. And then that's not the reason for the live stream, but it does add to the fun, right? And I apologize, I am having trouble. I try not to rip up the packages because I give a lot of these knives away, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? This is the Kansept Niko. Would you look at it? Just look at it and all of its Niko-ness. And before we look at it some more, let me clean off this schmuck. There we go, much better. Okay, now look at it. Just look at it. This one has the gold stuff. Look at that. Oh man, that looks so good. It's gold coated. Look at that. Now this is a D2 blade, so that coating is actually beneficial. And you know what? That looks like a very nice, even grind. There's that side. Let's check out the other side. Let's see what the other side of the grind looks like. Very nice. Looks like they did a pretty even job. Gets a little skinny down here, but for the most part, that's a very nice looking. Ooh, wow. Ooh, yeah. Oh, it has some teeth, some serious teeth. So you have a little bit of jimping down here. Let's get in there and check out that little bit of jimps. A little bit of dick. And then let's see, coming all the way around, coming across the back here. Would you call that a pommel, or would you call that a finger ring? And then there's some jimping up here. Let's take a look at that. A little bit of That's very nice. Ooh, that feels very nice. And this is twill carbon fiber. Couple little scales on the outside, which is very nice. And on this side, it does say Niko. And I do appreciate that they put, by Kansept, I mean they do put the name of the knife, and it's usually small. I don't mind, and I really do appreciate it. When you look at as many knives as I do, it's kind of nice because it is easy to forget knife names. And it does come with a Kydex sheath. Here's a look at the sheath. We'll see how it is in and out of the sheath here in just a moment. It's a more simplistic design. You don't have to take your belt off of your pants to get it in or off, but it does have that nice clippy feature, a nice little hook feature, so it's not going to come off easily. And let's see, this is pretty tight. I'm having to use some force, so that's going to depend on how you want to carry. If you want to carry it appendix, or if you're carrying it on your backpack, how you want to carry it. That is actually, and it does kind of have a small detent right there that it pops into. So that's very nice. Now from tip to tail, it's 7.3 inches long, 185.5 millimeters. Your blade length is 3.54 inches long, 89.8 millimeters. And I'm curious what you would call the handle. I would say is the part that's usable. So the usable part here is total about 3.9 inches. And then your blade height right here in the middle is coming in at about just a hair under 1.25 inches. So that's very cool. Let's check out your sharpen length. Sharpen length is coming in at just a hair under 3.5 inches. So it's a nice sized knife. And I thought I had more Kansept fixed blades, but I don't. I don't. If I do, I don't know where they are. Here's the tenable par. There you go. This is a tenable. This is the more budget-oriented, more budget side of Kansept knives. They have two brands. And then here is the Vostede Raccoon. That's a knife that a lot of people have. And then, you know what? We got to put up the QSP Penguin, because everybody needs a penguin, huh? Did I say huh? Right? Now look, you look at this knife and you look at it in the wrong Kansept and you're like, oh my gosh, that thing is huge. I think it's just because there's so much blade and so little handle scales. But when you put it next to the QSP Penguin, that puts it into perspective as far as its length. And let me put a couple more up here real quick light. Here's the CJRB Pyrite, or the Pyrite Light, and then the Civivi Elementum 2 button lock. So these I consider medium-sized knife. So this is medium-sized, even though for some reason the appearance, it just looks like so much blade, probably because that blade is so tall. And I do have one more sitting here, so let me put this up here. There is the Kaiser Drop Bear. So see there what I'm talking about? And you know what? I almost forgot. I do have a couple other fixed blades here. Here is another version of it that you can check out. And I think this one's on sale. I just noticed they had like 6 or 7. Some of them are sold out, but these versions are on sale. They were like 10 or 15% off. And then this one, I can't remember if this one's available. I mean, I already have 2 versions of it. So that gives you a nice little idea. You have the fat carbon fiber, the fancy Mr. Fancy Pants. Then you have the twill carbon fiber. And then you have a little bit of micarta going on. And I do have a couple fixed blades handy, so let me put a couple up here in case you have one of these. Here is the Kaiser Drop Bear. So it is bigger than the Drop Bear. And then here's the Kaiser Militaw, which is a little bit bigger. So in between those two, if you have one of those knives, maybe that'll get you in the territory. My whole purpose here is to let you know the size of this knife, because I think the size of a knife is important. And let me get you in here for a little bit of texture vision on that micarta. That's what your micarta looks like. Oh, there you go, little fella. That ought to hold you for a while. And this is what this version looks like in case if I find these, I will have links in the pinned comment. Oh yeah, by the way, I do have a standing year-round 10% discount code to Kansept Knives. So that's another bonus. And I think there's probably free shipping. Now taking a look at going in and out of the sheath, let's see how she goes here. Oh wow, yeah, it has good retention. Clips in there. Feels good. Feels good. There's a look at this side, and here's a look at this side. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I'm trying to slow down. Let me know if you like the fact that I'm trying to slow down. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Looking at that carbon fibre up close. I personally love to look at stuff up close to get a look at the grain structure and the feel of it. It doesn't have a whole lot of texture. You can kind of feel these lines right here as far as texture goes, but that's about it. Now, in the hand, it is very comfortable. You know, my hand is 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 from here to here, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger is 7.25. Now, holding it like this, that's pretty comfy. Nice landing pad for my thumb. See how it just kind of naturally fits in that groove? Is that not the biggest poon ever? Would you still call that a harpoon blade? Now, I know this is probably designed for self-defense. If you're a self-defense knife user, let me know. Is this the style you would use for self-defense? I know that you could definitely use this to open up some bags of mulch. For sure. Now, holding it in a traditional sense like this, oh yeah, that jimping is el perfecto. They did a great job on the jimps. Very grippy. It's like micro jimping. It doesn't look like it would be that grabby. That's one of the things that I always try to point out is how that feels, because it doesn't look like it would be grabby, but it actually is. It does a fantastic job. And you do have a little bit of extra grip down here to grab a hold of it. Now, for sharpening, looks like our plunge grind just kind of disappears about right there. So you're going to get quite a few sharpenings before you actually get up into there. Me personally, I always use a couple layers of painter's tape, 2 or 3 layers if I'm really doing some heavy sharpening. But you could do that to protect it so you don't get a smile, you know, get the little ugliness. But if you don't care about that, then don't put tape on it. It's not going to matter. But it feels good in the hand. Obviously, you don't have to worry about any wibble wobble. It's just solid, you know, full tank construction. It is what it is when you get a fixed blade. It's just the little things that you want to know about, right? Like the action, the ergos, and all that thing about knives. Well, when it comes to a fixed blade, there's no action other than pulling it out and maybe a little swink. But there's no action to be had. So it does make it simple to show you a new fixed blade. This is pretty cool. I have links down there where you can check them out, and we will talk about them more on the live stream. Now, something I wanted to notice. Oh yeah. So this little flat area right here with the jimps on the back, That is a nice little flat spot for the thumb. That is comfortable. It's a little comfortable landing pad for your thumb. So that's very nice. I like that little feature right there. So let me know what you think about this latest version of the Kansept Niko. I think it's pretty cool. And I also like the other versions too. I do know for a fact that this dude's available. I'm just not sure about the Mr. Fancy Pants carbon fiber with the, oh yeah, look at that. The copper. Oh my gosh. I hope they have this. I'll look and see if I can find it somewhere. But let me know down below what you think about it. And then on your screen, there's a couple videos that are going to pop up. Those are brand new knife releases that I just recently overviewed or reviewed or unboxed. Go check them out. You'll probably enjoy it. And until I see you again in the lives or the chats or the hive streams, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.